Hello, if you're hearing me, that must mean I hit the record button this time. I mean, hi and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War. Do we have a game here? Yes, okay. We have a new turn, which you have never seen before, and we're happy to get it started. So, last time, we had an episode, and it was great. It was the greatest episode you've ever seen. Nobody makes better episodes than me. I make them great, and I make them cheap, and nobody makes them as good as I do. You understand? Understand. Cool. Now, today, what the hell do I do? Alright, so, remember, oh no, you wouldn't remember because we never saw this before. There's this partisan here in Brest that's popped out of nowhere, and the port is still occupied. So I decided to run a little test after I ended the prior episode, where I moved the partisans off of Brest, and then I moved them back. And oh ho, what do you know? We now own Brest. What the fuck? I thought it was a balancing thing to stop partisans from allowing you to land like in China or France or something. I thought it was a balancing thing and that it made sense. No, I'm wrong. It's dumb. It's just dumb. So you have to move off and move back on to get that going. The supply here can get up really fucking high. It's just that we absolutely blockaded that supply out of existence. So what we have instead is the supply of the city. If it could go up as high as it could, then this partisan would be able to get way more, like it would be able to actually reinforce up to snuff. It would be able to upgrade, but it can't do that because even though we have the port, it's not going to be strong. Even if we took the port at full strength, it would still get nerfed based on what I've seen down here in Libya. Speaking of seeing, we still don't see a Rommel, which has me rather concerned. We do have enough to start upgrading things, not reinforcing everything, unfortunately, because the supply here is still shit, and that sucks. Let's deal with the simpler part of Africa, however, which is down here. Yeah, it's much simpler. So we're gonna take this fucking town. That's first and foremost. Gonna step on this town. We're gonna take it right up. Do the hokey pokey. Mussolini never knows what hit him. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be fantastic. In fact, I think we can actually reasonably just kind of go past it too. There's not 100% reason to do that, but let's go ahead and do it. Now, the whole reason for that, however, is because now we have the BAI army from India, which can now sail over here and land, right? Why can't we land? Maybe we can't land because there's an enemy next to the port. I don't know. We should deal with that enemy next to the port then. Let's go ahead and start giving him a thrashing. Let's hit him. We deal 3 damage. We take none. Let's hit him again. He's dead. Okay. Can I land? Let's move forward a step. I still can't land. I'm concerned. Why can't I land? Maybe if I move away and come back? Why can't I land? Alright, after looking through 60 instances of the word transport in the manual, there's actually 172 instances. It says, to transport a land unit using regular troop transports, a unit must be active and located adjacent to a friendly port that has a strength of at least 5. So what I'm gonna guess is that also goes inverse. I need to wait until there's a 5 supply here just to land here. That's an important thing to know. We never had enough movement range to make it down here. At least not without cruising. Don't even know if that's an option for a regular transport. But, so it's just gonna sit here. It won't be able to unload here next turn either. That's just not possible. It may just have to go down here and then find its way up. That's the whole reason why I didn't send it up here, though. Is because I didn't want it to take long to get to the action. This is just a noob making a mistake, I guess. It's better I learn now than in a PvP, right? Right, okay. Also, speaking of these troops, there are the Gurkha Special Forces that we can deploy, which we'll go ahead and deploy in Karachi, because that's also going to be deployed abroad. There's also these light tanks. I don't really know what to do with it, nor do I know what to do. Oh, well, actually, I don't have many options. With the armored trains, I just kind of have to put them down somewhere. Now, the armored trains can move via rails, and that's it. They can only move via rails. So, yeah, if we send them up northwest here, which I don't even know if we can. Is there a rail line? I wish the rail lines were easier to see. There is a rail line here. But there's no rail line, like, back here. So, send it up here, it's going to be hard to get it down here. You know, it could go defend the Baltics. It could go help try to defend the line. I think these rails, like, they have infantry. Like, they have infantry attacks and such. Because if I go to the purchase and we look at armored train, we can see it has soft, hard attacks, infantry weapons, anti-air. So it's like an infantry unit that's really, really fast. Not as good as an army, not even close. It's far more like a corps. Maybe a little weaker. But it can handle light armor better, at the very least. And it's stuck moving on rails, for whatever that's worth. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to deploy that down by Moscow and figure out what to do with it later. Now, what about light tanks? Because light tanks are not tanks. So this is like the core, and then tanks are like the army. It seems to be that way. It's light armor versus tank for target type. Full zone of control. Far less defensive stats, like less than half against enemy infantry. Enemy infantry can fuck this shit right up. Holy crap. But it's still pretty decent against enemy armor. So what I'm hearing is this is not actually going to be very useful against the Japanese at all. Wonderful. Well, wherever we're going to need the tanks, it's probably not going to be in this mountainous hellhole that we're currently trying to fight and reclaim. It's going to be somewhere with lots of plains and open space. Oh, what do you know? What's all this now? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, let's go deploy it up here where we can get it up to strength and whatever upgrades we can get it. We don't have advanced tanks, so we don't really have much upgrades. But just so I don't forget to deploy it later, I am naturally going to go ahead and move the Smuts HQ. Smuts. Is that your fucking name? Smuts? Okay, Smuts, the only HQ that Africa, like South Africa, has. Let's move you up to the village we just took so everyone can get some nice supply going. Who knows, maybe this is what I need to land the army. Maybe the HQ will artificially raise the supply of the port enough to make a landing possible. I don't know. I'm just being hopeful at this point. We do want to get the RD transporting, no matter what. 27 MPPs to load it up. Let's go load that bitch right up. And we're gonna aim to get it down there. We could also send it up north. This is an instance again where I'm just really not sure what I want to do, especially now that I know all this. We could send it up towards Port Sudan and then try to have it assist the Sudanese now that these guys are going to have an army at their fucking backs. Yeah, we could do that. Or we could also just wait to send the special forces there. I don't know. Decisions are hard. Has anyone ever told you that? I'm just going to send this transport down this. Oh, it does have a cruise mode. Yeah, I should know that. I've done this before. Raz. We're going to go ahead and bring this all the way down to this port. And we can land fucking immediately. However, this is Artie. Artie's not easy to move. Like it... Whatever. Let's just deploy it. Yeah, it only has 2 action points. But this is flat land, so it should be fine. We're going to go ahead and move it up. And it should hopefully just catch up as soon as possible. I'm just glad I got to fucking land something. We have 185 MPPs remaining as India. It means we can get a lot of good text researching. And again, we finished most of our text, so that could certainly be handy. I think the most useful thing for India, seeing as they're only pumping out like air and infantry, would just be to go ahead and start researching the second infantry weapons already. Because then their infantry would just get a lot more powerful. They're not going to be dealing with many other challenges in the meantime, but this can help me get their total research funding back up. One thing to note is the Soviet Union actually did get infantry weapons. They actually have infantry fucking weapons now. That's why this armored train deployed with that tech. And boy, do we have a lot of fucking units that need it. It's March, April, May, June, and only 3 months to give it to them. And we're not even remotely ready. Garrisons are so cheap to upgrade, we might as well just give this to every garrison on the border, because it's cheap, and, you know, they're gonna die. Some of these just spawned in for free. I intentionally moved these two over here, and I put them there knowing they're gonna die. They're there to slow down the enemies and see if we can do any special movements. Let's see what else we can do here. Odessa is gonna definitely need some. It's right on the border. I'm prioritizing things that will need it first. Things that are closer to the border where infantry weapons can make the difference. Because it doesn't just affect the offense, it affects the defense. And quite an incredible amount, especially against enemy armor, as we can see. I may not have anti-air for them, but the anti-infantry is going to be absolutely vital. Especially for everyone that's up by the front, where a lot of units will be deploying, hopefully with this technology included. I sure hope so. I'll also give it to the corps I put over in Tallinn. And that's everyone that's like forward deployed. That's the most forward deployed ones, like in front of the Dnieper. There's 1 or 2 additional ones to deal with, but we've burned through almost everything already, so we have to get real picky and choosy now to actually keep assigning it. I know I want to make sure the mechanized has it, because the mechanized is going to be, well, fairly mechanized and moving around and such. Then the cavalry, but we don't have enough MPPs for that at the moment. 26% mobilization. It went up 1 more percent. I wonder if it's going up 1% every turn after a certain point. That's good. That means more MPPs for the Soviets. Taking a moment to look at the Americans. We definitely want to spend some research and keep that going. Always want to keep researching with them. They're still at 38%, which is so sad. I think we're approaching or roughly at the point where they're supposed to have the Lend-Lease going. Let me look that up. Yeah, historically, Lend-Lease started on March 11th. And it's March 28th, meaning the UK is now suffering from a historical debuff of not receiving MPPs from America. There's just nothing's happened to raise the mobilization anymore. The Germans haven't done anything, I guess. I mean, they're about to attack Yugoslavia, probably this upcoming turn. That should hopefully push America into that point. But until now, we have all these MPPs to just use on America. So we already have amphibious warfare up to 2. This is going to be vitally important. Especially as we're going to need long-range transports to get us over to Europe eventually, because that's where it's going to end. Japan's going first, but then Europe's going to be a problem. So we are going to definitely invest more into our amphibious warfare capabilities. We still have 188, and we could put that into some stuff here as well. And there's still some stuff here that would be useful for us to get. For example, a permanent armored warfare buff, but we don't have any tanks like anytime soon. We also don't have any subs, but God, would I love to get some advanced subs. One thing to note is that as America gets techs, and anyone, the allies generally, like a side, will share research. So it will make it easier for the other nation to research it. So definitely getting ahead on tech is not a bad idea, although of course committing everything like I am probably wouldn't be very smart in a multiplayer. But this isn't a multiplayer, now is it? I don't really know what else to just pour shit into. I feel like the maximum research is literally the maximum that you can invest at any one point. When I look at what's actually available to me right now, I guess advanced subs or advanced tanks would be pretty good, because we don't have either of those, and eventually they will be relevant. We're going to go ahead and go for advanced tanks, because that feels like it would be relevant sooner. I don't know, but there goes all of America's MPPs, and now we don't have to worry about any of that. The UK has some interesting stuff going on, to say the least. This partisan is putting ideas in my brain, but realistically the partisan itself will just end up dying. God, imagine a partisan in Paris. They probably have someone on Paris at least. I don't understand why this destroyer's here. Why are you here? I don't know. But my attack bombers, which I wish I upgraded now with naval weaponry, but I didn't, could probably hurt them. We have an attack value on naval of 4, even so. What about the strat bombers? We have an attack of 1. Ugh, that sucks. What about the fighters? 1. Ugh, that sucks. Well, let's go ahead and attack this destroyer anyway, just to make it feel bad about coming over here. We might as well go ahead and upgrade this fighter. It's going to pick this one, which is why I just want to go ahead and upgrade it. Well, now it's going to pick this one, but this has the advanced fighters anyway, so that's fine. I don't care as much about the long-range fighter shit right now. Let's go ahead and drop some tac bombs on this destroyer. We did 3 damage. We took 1 damage. It had absolutely no support whatsoever from any fighters. That's how we know it's probably not a good amount of fighter support over here, which buffs up my hypothesis that France is not really defended right now. I don't think it's defended at all very much. The Italians are focusing everything over here in Greece, which we have that terrible situation to deal with right now. Speaking of, let's go ahead and upgrade these cores right here with anti-air and infantry, not mobility. We do not need mobility. This guy's already upgraded, but we need to get him some more men. The Athens core, first core, second core. The second core does not have upgrades, and it also does not have entrenchments. So I wish it the best of luck as it gets marched on by a tank, an army, and a corps, because I really can't do anything about that at the moment. There is still a Greek fighter unit we can get, but I don't think that's going to actually be all that helpful in defending it. Italy's not pulling any air power. The Germans might. But March, April, they're not on... The schedule's not going right. April, because March, April, May, yeah. March is when the invasion of Yugoslavia begins. And then April is when everything here is supposed to fall. May, June leads up to Operation Barbarossa. If they do Barbarossa on time, they'll be distracted. They will be distracted. And if they don't, Greece will die. But the Soviets will get more time to prepare. So that's something. Either way, we have some decisions and other things to do. Things where I want to spend my MPPs is the UK. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and... You don't have ground attack weapons, so let's go ahead and just reinforce these tactical bombers. Let's go ahead and upgrade the desert field artillery with artillery weapon upgrades. Let's go ahead and reinforce the WDF army up to max. Let's go ahead and upgrade the infantry weapons and mobility of this corps. I feel like if any area needs that, it's here. The special forces can get the full works because I'm not pulling any punches down here. If Rommel doesn't show up and these guys are over upgraded, that's fine. They could just come in handy somewhere else, ideally, right? We cannot upgrade here. We're going to do some recon, you know? That's what a recon's for. Okay, we have an Italian army over here. I can't see anything else. But we know there's an Italian army sitting on Tripoli. So that's going to be a little bit harder to actually break. So yeah, we're definitely going to need to get our shit together before we try to break it. So let's go ahead and move the recon back. Just going to chill out here for the time being. The HQ is going to need to move up. That much is certain. We're going to move it up just a little bit. Yeah, because it can't actually move into the city right now because we have a special forces there. But it can move up that much, which is a fair amount. The supply around it should hopefully be good enough to get some reinforcements. Hopefully the armored tanks can just stay where they are and get reinforcements. Same thing with the desert anti-tank, I'm hoping, because it'll just be so much closer, because we need to get everyone here up to snuff and then moving on Tripoli. And then hopefully we take Libya. And then if we take Libya, Ethiopia just won't stand a chance. No Rommel means Libya's won. And Libya's won means the Soviets are going to have a harder time, but this is great for the UK. Not so much the Soviets, but this is great for the UK. So that's something. Before I forget, we can also go ahead and attack with the Sudan Defense Force Corps against the enemy garrison. We dealt 4 damage with the 1 attack. I know they're just going to reinforce it, but that's some good damage, and it makes them waste more MPPs on these garrisons, which makes me happy. Oh yeah, because it's like this big glaring weakness, I should also go ahead and upgrade the garrison here in Greece with infantry weapons and anti-air defense, so that it stands more of a chance if something actually does try to push down this western side instead of focusing the Metaxas line. Now, we're not done yet oh ho ho, we're not done yet. We still have this whole naval thing that I have to deal with. So first and foremost, we want to get the destroyers that are at risk to safety if possible. We'll take this Canadian destroyer and send it closer towards Canada. The Canadian can kind of guard its own route since everything else is currently distracted. We have to free up things, yeah, so we're going to move you forward, Mr. Battlecruiser. And we're going to send the Jersey destroyer up there. It can get there without even marching or whatever, the cruising, the naval cruise. And we can get this, the Javelin one, up to Liverpool, where these guys can recover, lick their wounds, all that fun stuff. But we know there's still submarines here, and if anyone's going to run into them, we want it to be a destroyer. Unfortunately, we still don't have ASW improvements, and we also don't have a lot of research. And I'm ignoring entire parts of the Brits. I don't think you guys have noticed. Well, I mean, you might have, but I haven't done anything in Australia, New Zealand, or Malaya. I still haven't reinforced even one point. I've just been entirely focusing like the naval stuff as it pops up, and then Africa. I haven't even upgraded like the planes here. I just don't have the points. Like now I'm dealing with Greece. I don't have the points to even add more research right now. It's so hard to manage all this. I can't imagine what a player would put me through. We want to see if we can find these subs that ran southeast. I don't know where the hell they would be. Well, they're not here, so that's something. We can sail up this way, because they could have come down here. I don't see anything. Let's take a gander. It could have gone towards the channel as well. Found one! And it's one that has 4. I don't know where the others are. Let's move forward and see if he's nearby. Yep, we found the other one. And both of them are in terrible, terrible condition. Perfect for our carriers to finish off. So we don't even have to risk the damage to the destroyers. Let's go ahead and move the Ark Royal carrier forward and unleash it on this U-boat. Submarine dives from attack. Move forward, attack again. Submarine dives from attack. You motherfucker. Alright, let's get the glorious carrier moving up. Attack again. Alright, we dealt 1 damage. Do it again. And nothing. Alright. We have more carriers, though. Although, this is concerning me a little bit. Let's go ahead and move the Courageous and bomb this one. Submarine dives from attack. Dealt 1 damage. Do it again. Submarine dives from attack. Okay. These destroyers can't actually move anymore. Maybe I should have attacked with them first. I didn't think they'd be this fucking persistent. Attack again. Alright, we dealt 1 more damage, but it's still alive. 1 more should be dead. Dives from attack. And we did not kill it. We still have another carrier, though. We still have another carrier. God damn it. Attack. Come on. Please kill it. Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. Alright, we have a destroyer. Can you kill it? No. Oh my. I hate you. We can't move these ones. They've already kind of done their thing. Maybe I should have attacked with them first. Blah, blah, whatever. Let's form our little formation. Holy fucking shit, man. What the fuck? I don't have any more destroyers really in range. At least not up. Like, the Castleton is there, but it's not up. Well, it doesn't need upgrades, right? Because what upgrade is it missing? It's not missing ASW. So let's go send the Castleton destroyer up. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. Alright, let's back you up then. Okay. I think we're out. I think we're basically out of destroyers. Arrgh, that's so annoying. We have to remake the defensive line around the fucking carriers now. And utilize the light cruisers as best we can. We have enough. Yeah, this is pretty good. This is not something they're going to try to get around. I'm still a little concerned about this just destroyer chilling here. But it's not that big of a threat, to be honest. it should run away if it's smart. And if it's not smart, it'll come towards my gigantic fleet. I could honestly sail up to it right now. What am I going to do? Get shot? As far as I know, there's nothing to even shoot it around here, to be honest. Alright, then let's do what I do best. Let's get a little cocky with some battleships. Let's go ahead and move the Nelson up. We can see it's down to 7, this thing. It does have naval weaponry, which is unfortunate. Let's go ahead and attack it. We dealt 3 damage. We took none. That's fantastic. We can now go hide in the safety of Southampton. Now, if I want to move anything else out there, it's not going to be able to get to any kind of safety. That's the new problem. However, we have so much fighter coverage that does extend down here. We can take the risk, but I'm not going to risk another battleship for that, even though a battleship might be needed to finish the job. I'm a little nervous to start risking battleships. I mean, I could. Oh boy, I could. Their submarines nearby are in terrible shape. The chances of them having another one to come down here is low. We can send our strongest one, the Prince of Wales, with an elite reinforcement. Or we can send one that's less valuable, like the Valiant. Yeah, because I'm going to take the Renown here. The Renown battle cruiser is going to block this way off to protect the other battleships. We're going to take the Valiant, and it will be Valiant. Let's attack. We dealt 2 damage and made it run away into a port. Okay, cool. Now let's back that up for whatever that's worth. Let's not make any additional targets for the Germans to shoot at. This is no longer in range of protecting this, but I doubt they have enough planes to launch multiple raids. Down here, I highly doubt it. This might be a wake-up call to, hey, move some fighters down here as well for the time being. That might be smart. I think they can still escort from down there as well, so that's good. We can go ahead and use one of the heavy cruisers here as a screen to protect from any submarines that might approach. So that's probably a smart thing to do. We'll go ahead and we'll do that. And we'll also look at filling in the screen more for the carriers with the rest of our heavy cruisers. I didn't expect the Navy to see this much action, but I did say that they would end up protecting the Atlantic. I just didn't realize how much effort that was going to take. This does seem like a good opportunity to go ahead and upgrade our strategic bombers, because we can start strat bombing the Germans. When they're committed on so many fronts as they're about to be, strategic bombing could definitely hurt their MPPs and things like that. Give it some long range, heavy bomber buff, which would give it more resource damage and protection against fighters. That's certainly handy. And we have so many escorts here. We had just enough points to kind of make that happen, so I felt like that could be worth it. Was it worth it? I don't know. We can also go ahead and upgrade this destroyer. Maybe not with everything now that I spent as much as I did. And since we can't upgrade it with everything, I won't upgrade it with anything. You know what? Fuck it. I'll upgrade it with something. We'll give it some anti-air defense for starters. And with that, I've done everything except China. But we are out of time for this episode, so I will go ahead and call it here. On the next turn, we will deal with China on the next episode, and hopefully make some good progress in this mountainous hellscape leading up to Nanjing and Shanghai, as we prepare for the eventual march into Manchukuo. I'm excited. Are you excited? Let me know in the comments below. And for now, I will see you guys on the next one.